Somewhere in a parallel universe, the box office is booming. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that should have been released in 2020 so far.
Nothing happier than the wife of a new detective.
Emma's cool, man. She's different. You don't know my wife.
You give a woman 600 Tuesdays. It ain't worth 3 Saturday nights.
For this list, we're looking at the most anticipated films that would have been released between early March and late July 2020 had it not been for the COVID-19 outbreak. We're including films that might still come out this year, as long as they had their release delayed significantly.
There is a legend in the jungles of the Amazon of a tree that heals all. It could change the world, but if it gets into the wrong hands, it could awaken a great evil.
Number 10. Soul. Whereas Trolls World Tour and Scoob jumped on the digital bandwagon early on, other animated films are still eyeing wide theatrical releases.
Scoob, do you realize where we are?
No.
Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
IKEA.
the Falcon Fury.
Minions: The Rise of Gru was incomplete when the pandemic hit.
Everybody here for the interview?
Thus, the studio pushed the film back a year to July 2nd, 2021, taking Sing 2's original release date. Pixar's Soul was slated to come out in June, but Disney decided to hold off until November 20th. Soul was given a slot reserved for Raya and the Last Dragon, which is now scheduled to come out on March 12, 2021. Whether or not Disney sticks to this wide release date, Soul has received a seal of approval from the Cannes Film Festival, which bodes well for its awards and critical buzz.
Today started out as the best day of my life.
Number 9. The French Dispatch. Like Soul, Wes Anderson's latest is another Cannes selection that's been affected by recent events. Remember when the poster and trailer for The French Dispatch hit back in February?
Eager to escape a bright future on the Great Plains, Arthur Howitzer Jr. transformed the series of travelogue columns into The French Dispatch.
Remember when we thought the film would be in theaters by April? Needless to say, that didn't exactly pan out. While The French Dispatch was rescheduled for an October debut, Disney removed it from their release calendar in July. Whenever it comes out, we expect the studio will want to line the film's release up with award season, given Anderson's past track record and the amazing ensemble cast. The Oscars notably expanded their eligibility window to February 2021, with the ceremony slated for April 25, 2021. So, a late 2020 or early 2021 release seems probable.
It's not for sale.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
Number 8. Ghostbusters: Afterlife. We were all intrigued when it was announced that Jason Reitman would be taking up his father's mantle, directing a Ghostbusters sequel set in the same universe as the first 2 movies.
Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value.
Our interest heightened with the release of the first trailer, which looked so different from what we'd come to expect from this franchise. While not everyone was immediately won over by the new direction, people were generally excited to see what Reitman had cooked up on July 10th, 2020. Well, now we'll have to wait until March 5th, 2021, almost a year after COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. We can safely say that we ain't afraid of no ghost, at least compared to the real-world horrors 2020 has brought us.
I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Number 7. F9. With John Cena making his debut as Dom's estranged brother, Sung Kang making his long-awaited return as Han, and friggin' magnet planes, F9 had us all counting down the days until its May 2020 release.
Been a long time, Dom.
Unfortunately, Dom and his family ran into some traffic on the way to the movies. F9 will not be arriving until at least April 2nd, 2021. When it does finally hit theaters, the film's box office performance could be very telling for the future of cinema. Universal notably reached a deal with AMC in July 2020, allowing their movies to play in the chain's theaters for 17 days before being made available on demand. Will F9 bring people racing to theaters, or will this shorter theatrical window lead to more streaming?
You know I'd ride to the death with you.
Number 6. No Time to Die. No Time to Die was the first major studio production to postpone its release due to the outbreak, switching from April to November 2020.
We all have our secrets.
At first, a lot of people saw this as an overreaction. After all, how big of an effect could this virus possibly have? The 25th Bond film was ahead of the curve, however, as COVID-19 proved far more serious than many anticipated. After No Time to Die got delayed, it wasn't long until other studios followed suit. Daniel Craig was also the last person to host SNL before the sketch comedy series shifted to an at-home format.
You also may have heard that the release of the film has been delayed due to public health concerns.
Until Craig's final outing as 007 hits theaters, we have a thrilling trailer and a haunting Billie Eilish song to hold us over.
There's just no time today.
Number 5. A Quiet Place Part 2. On March 8, 2020, the sequel to A Quiet Place had its world premiere in New York. 3 days later, the outbreak was officially deemed a pandemic.
It's okay, baby. It's okay.
Mom. Audiences were just a couple of weeks away from seeing A Quiet Place 2 on the big screen, although it quickly became clear that they'd have to wait longer. While it was initially rescheduled for a September release, Paramount ultimately pushed the film back again to April 23, 2021. Ironically, it at times feels like we're living in a post-apocalyptic world like the Abbott family. The film's delay is just one of the many disappointments that 2020 has brought us, but at least John Krasinski has delivered some good news during this time.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to SGN. I'm John Krasinski. And what the heck just happened?
Number 4. Wonder Woman 1984. Even before the pandemic, the Wonder Woman sequel's release date was all over the map.
Life is good, but it can be better.
After moving it from December to November 2019, Warner Brothers announced the film's release would be held off until June 2020. Wonder Woman 1984 was poised to be one of the studio's event pictures for the summer movie season. Alas, 2020 didn't exactly have a summer movie season for obvious reasons. Warner Brothers postponed the superhero film until August, hoping to salvage what was left of the summer. As that date drew closer, though, Warner Brothers decided that October 2nd would be more realistic.
It's all art.
It wouldn't be surprising if Warner Brothers delayed yet again, at least in the US, but only Diana's lasso of truth has the answer. Number 3. Mulan. From Artemis Fowl to Hamilton, the Mouse House has dropped a few of its planned theatrical releases on Disney Plus as a result of the outbreak. While some have theorized that Mulan may receive the same treatment, Disney seems resolute on a theatrical release. Considering the positive buzz Mulan garnered following its March 9th premiere, we can see why.
You're a war hero. You've already made many great sacrifices.
Plus, the remakes of The Lion King, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast all made over $1 billion. Mulan could bring in similar box office returns if the timing is right. That said, Disney has struggled to find an ideal release date, pushing it back multiple times. As of writing, the film is delayed indefinitely, although a sequel is apparently in the works already.
Yet here I stand, proof that there is a place for people like us.
Number 2. Black Widow. It's surreal to think that it's been over a year since the last MCU movie came out.
I used to have nothing.
Black Widow was not only set to kick off the cinematic universe's 4th phase, but also the summer movie season on May 1st. Now, Disney's hoping that Natasha Romanoff's first solo outing will stimulate the holiday box office. Black Widow is currently slated for November 6, 2020, taking the spot that had been booked for The Eternals. Of course, this sparked a chain reaction, with several other upcoming MCU movies having to rearrange their release dates. It goes to show that the effects of the pandemic will extend long beyond 2020. But everything we've seen so far indicates that Black Widow will be worth the wait.
Family. Back together again.
You got fat.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Candyman, delayed from June 12, 2020 to October 16, 2020.
Candyman. 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 Candyman.
Well, we're still alive.
Free Guy, delayed from July 3, 2020 to December 11, 2020.
Hey, bud, you ever think that there's got to be more?
More than what?
The stuff we do day after day.
In the Heights, delayed from June 26, 2020 to June 18, 2021.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated.
Morning, Usnavi.
Top Gun Maverick, delayed from June 26, 2020 to July 2, 2021.
Your reputation precedes you.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back.
They're called orders, Maverick.
The New Mutants. Let's be honest, this movie is never coming out.
The reason you survived is because you're a very uncommon girl. You're not alone. Not anymore. Do you know what mutants are?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Tenet. If there's one thing that Christopher Nolan is determined to preserve, it's the theatrical experience.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet.
As such, there is no doubt that Tenet will play in theaters. The question is when. After multiple delays, Warner Bros. Announced in late July that Tenet would open internationally before its US release. As of writing, the ambitious spy thriller is scheduled to come out on August 26, 2020 in Canada, the UK, and several other countries. The plan is to release Tenet in the US on September 3rd, but only in certain cities at first. From there, it will slowly open up across the country. It's an unconventional distribution model for unpredictable times.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
However Tenet performs, it'll likely set a precedent going forward. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.